basically I have an energy bulb in my hand. I'm going to pass it around the circle, and you have to pass it around as fast as you can, but count to 30 at the same time. So like, I'd be 1, you'd be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah, on and on. But one thing I want you to remember is like, be really energetic about it. It is an energy bulb after all. So does everyone understand what we're doing?
Yeah.
Just in our heads?
No, count out loud.
Oh,
Out
out
loud,
loud.
yeah. Yeah, everyone's so a bit confused basically over here.
What do we do when we get to 30?
You just stop.
You just stop.
Yeah.
Does it have to be sequential in the circle? Or can we go
Yes,
sure.
yeah.
Will it have to stop?
Pardon? At 30.
30.
Yeah. Alright. Cool. Ready? 1,
2,
3,
4,
5,
6, 7, 8, 9,
11,
12, 13,
14.
15.
16,
17,
18, 20.
21,
23,
23, 24.
we're about 26,
28.
31.
29.
So where we go up to? 30.
30.
Yeah. Alright. Okay. Alright.
Yeah, like sit down.
Yep. Well, we're going to go the other way now. So we're going to just confuse everyone. Alright. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4,
5.
6, 7,
11,
12, 13, 14,
15.
16,
17,
18,
19,
20, 21,
22.
23,
24.
25, 26, 27.
30.
Alright, cool. Alright, that was just a little bit of a warm up. So now I hand over to Hannah, who will make things a little more complicated.
Indeed. So in music, of course, we have things like beats and rhythms, and it's really important when we're working together as a group to keep that timing, that pulse, that sort of thing. So what we're going to do, we're going to pass around the ball again, but this time we're going to be nice and steady. Last time we were going quite fast as we could. This time we're going to keep it nice and steady. We're still going to 30, so keep that counting. I'm going to pass to you, Anthony. You ready? All right, here we go. 1,
2,
3.
4,
5, 6, 7,
9,
10,
11, 12, 13, 14,
15,
16,
17,
18,
19,
20,
21,
22.
23.
24, 25, 26, 8, no, 30.
Very close. We got a little bit of a muddle up here. So we've got 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. We'll go back the other way, keeping that steady, but this time we might slow it down a bit. So I'm going to go 1, 2,
3,
4,
4,
5,
6,
7, 8, 9, 10,
11.
13,
12,
14,
15. 16.
17,
18, 19,
20,
21,
22,
24,
25,
26, 27,
29,
30.
very nice. Well done. Well done. Anthony, I'm just going to put it on the chair. So, does anyone know what this is?
Yes.
Yes?
A metronome.
Metronome. Does anyone know what a metronome does?
Keeps time.
Keeps time. Dentists would know that. You know that well, I'm sure. So, this is something that's often used quite heavily in like classical music, but beat is not just common to classical music. That technicality is not just for that. So, when it comes to beat, this is something that helps us keep that steady pace. So, I'm going to put it on 120. That's a pretty common beat for us. So what it does is it goes back and forth like this.
that's cool.
And can you hear that click? That's our beat. So now we're going to pass around again. We're going to go to 30, and we're going to keep as close to this time as we can. Everyone make sense? Everyone good? All right, I'm going to pass it all these ways time. Ready? 1, 2,
3,
4, 5,
6,
7, 8, 9,
10,
11.
12,
13, 14,
15.
16,
17,
18, 19,
20,
21,
22,
23,
24,
25,
26, 27, 28,
29.
30.
Very good. It's difficult to say those words with a couple more syllables in it, isn't it? You're like 27 and 27. Yeah. It's so much easier to get out one, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's much easier. That's really, really similar when it comes to rhythm in music. Okay, so our beat is that steady, consistent sort of pulse that we can feel. All right, our rhythm is those offbeats, those different sounds that happen within those steady pulses. So, Carly, if you could start just nice and steady. Rhythm is something like. So I've got a different sort of timing going while that steady beat's going. Does that make sense to everyone? Yeah, cool. So what we're going to do, I'm going to slow it down a bit. I'm going to take it back to 80, that's nice and slow. And what we're going to do this time is when the beat goes, going to try and get 2ing like this. 1, 2, that sort of thing. Do you hear how there's 2 in the time of those clicks? Does that make sense? Yeah. Cool. Alright. Can you pass it your way? Are you ready? Here we go. 1, 2. That's fine. You can just pass it, that's fine. Don't have to say. Nice. Very good. Okay, cool. Would anyone like to have a go at making something a little more complex? Maybe we want to try and fit in 4, maybe you want to fit in 10. Would anyone like to have a go? Put your hand up if you'd like to have a go at including something a little faster. Or even slower. Yeah?
I was going to suggest, what about incorporating, for example, like maybe
Yeah.
or something like instead of just clapping?
Yep, it doesn't have to be just clapping. It could be anything you like.
Can we do a bit of Hannah Montana? Almost snap clap.
Oh, I like that. I like that. Well, maybe we can do that around. So we'll start with you, if that's all right.
Okay, yeah.
And then we'll head round to the left. Perhaps we'll show us again. Show us
Yeah.
again.
So boom, snap,
I can never just
snap, clap.
So let's do it all together. Ready? Boom, snap. Boom, snap. It's bigger than Martin's teaser, isn't it? Alright. So, begin from you. It's still nice and slow. Still nice and slow. We're gonna pass it over. Let's go to the left. Sure.
Okay, yeah.
Nice. Good. That's alright. That's alright. Very close. Keep going. Good. That's okay. Keep going. That's okay. Good. That's fine. Good. Last one is down. Yeah, nice, nice. That's really, really good. So it's actually really important when we're doing music exercises, even if we make a mistake, it's important to keep going so we can maintain that beat. So we had a couple of times where we had some mistakes, which is not actually a problem, this is a new activity. When we have those mistakes, we keep on going. Well done, everyone. So I'm actually going to kick over to Dave, who's going to take us a little bit more creatively with what we've just learned.
All right, guys. I think everyone's doing a fantastic job, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep building on this rhythm that we've already got going. I think somebody's already recognised it. So what I want to do is I'm going to become the conductor, and I'm going to give you a couple of motions. So if I want everyone to do the, I'm going to hold my hands up. So we start. Let's get it together. Okay, so everybody. Very good. Now we're going to start a solo. And what's going to happen when we start a solo? Everyone's going to stop, except the person I'm pointing to. But they're going to do the same thing.
Good.
Very good, guys. What we're getting here is an ensemble. Alright, very good, keep it going. So now what I want you to do, when it's your turn for a solo, I want you to use a different timbre. So you could do a rub. Just think about what you want to do. Same rhythm, but different timbre. So I'll give you an example. Very good, guys. You're keeping the rhythm. You're all holding the rhythm. Now. Very good.
Alright, still going.
Bing.
Alright, at this point, we'll just pause. Does anyone want to give us some feedback about sort of the creative process that goes on when they've got that moment in the spotlight?
It's fast thinking.
Yeah, you're fast, you're thinking on your feet. Effectively, you're improvising. How are you feeling when that happens?
It's a heightened sense of adrenaline, but like a good adrenaline.
Yeah.
But like over the top. Like it's just like, oh, it's me now, let's go.
Anyone else care to share?
I
how
was
they
gonna say,
felt?
it's tricky because we were doing that when you like
Yeah.
introduce, okay, now you're gonna do your own things. I was trying to think of something while still maintaining that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is a challenge we have as musicians when we're improvising. We'll get to a moment, it's our turn to express in the moment, and you can feel feelings of anxiety, excitement, a lot of different feelings will come up. And so becoming aware of those feelings, but valuing what it is you're going to put in, to that moment of creation is incredibly important.
Playful.
It's very playful, and you could continue to build this idea. I would like, have we got time? I would like to go in and start doing things like vocally on top of our rhythms. We'll be able to look into kind of capacity, so it's probably time to wrap it up there.
Yeah.
So, thanks everybody.
Well, you guys can sit down. I just want to do like a couple of reflection questions with you guys, if that's okay.
I love that.
So, first thing, what did you notice about yourself in this activity? Was there anything you particularly noticed, like were you good at it, like surprisingly good at it? Did you struggle more than you thought you would? Yeah.
I find that you just like beats anyway as a human being, so no matter what, you want to partake in it. That's always my feeling with your classes now. It's just too much fun to just even just move and be in a beat. Doesn't matter if you know music or not with your classmates. What's your rhythm with each other?
I really noticed that when we did that steady pace, a lot of you like,
Yeah.
like, it's really good. It's really lovely. Yeah.
A very nice sense of connection with the group, I think. Everyone working together.
Sure. Anyone else?
I appreciate this kind of exercise with music. When I did music at high school, it was just like, I was playing piano, I do the classical stuff, and I'm like, that's boring. I dropped it after the first semester of year 7, never touched it again. And I think if we did more of that, I might have kept on good with it, because I always wanted to learn how to play an instrument. It was just that barrier of the boring stuff that kind of took it away from me.
Yeah. What strategies did you guys use to be successful in this activity? Anyone notice?
The bobbing.
The bobbing, that was definitely a good one.
General cooperation, so we're all accountable for each other too.
Yeah, exactly. The very collaborative space is a sort of activity.
Listening skills, so just being able to listen to what is being said and visually take in what is happening, not just act, clap.
Yeah, definitely. We kind of rely on each other to know what's happening.
You picked up on our prior knowledge too. You said we were bopping, but
Especially because, particularly knowing what this class is, we know that there are some musicians here, and we also know that there are people who haven't picked up anything before. So,
And then you can gauge too, just through observation, what students might need a little bit more assistance later on. If they're not bopping around, they might not have that in sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's us.
Yeah, that's us.
So what did you discover as you lived this today?
Just kind of adapting. Like we were supposed to do an extra activity, but realised there wasn't enough time, so just kind of like adapting to, the time constraints and everything. So,
Callie also adapted our introduction because we might next have a course. So Callie took on that today and did really good job with that. So
Great. And how did you feel about doing that?
yeah, I felt like I was really nervous, so I talked like a million miles an hour at the start, and I'm sorry guys, but I feel like
You were very clear, you were very calm. I would not have picked up on you
No,
feeling anxious.
no,
No,
no.
perfect.
Oh,
That's really great that you said that, because you know you want to get that feedback, don't you? That in front of a large group you felt really nervous, but we didn't spot it. I was right next to you. I didn't say. Sorry.
Other discoveries?
I suppose I have a lot of experience doing this in a one-on-one situation. I'm the instrumental tutor, so like teaching this kind of thing is pretty familiar. But I guess for me to discover that I can do it in group settings is really
Great.
Yeah, I found, I discovered that just through the simple hand gestures, it's really, you can sometimes over-explain things. And I was wondering how I would explain this task, but I thought if I could just break it down to some basic hand gestures and get people to read my hand movements, saying less was more, that, and people come on quite quick as to, you know.
It's quite hard to do that from the middle as well.
Yes.
And you were turning really well, I thought, because sometimes people forget that there's people behind them.
Yeah.
And you stay in the same position, but you were turning.
I had contemplated the idea of a heart circle, but I thought given the nature of the introductory activities, that once we're in a circle, just to keep that flow going, moving to acknowledge everyone and giving everyone a chance to try and do their little bit.
Great. Let's share it.
I appreciated your co-teaching. It's very, very, very hard, but it felt quite fair. Like you weren't, leaving one person to do everything or anything like that, which sometimes happens and you don't realise. So it felt like, did you guys plan who's going to do what?
Yeah, we sort of did,
Roughly.
but obviously, yeah.
It's good.
Jason, there's something.
Well, I just appreciate that the fact that it inclusive with personal instrument to orchestra level of instruments, where we need to kind of explain ourselves, but at the same time listen to the conductor at the end when we're doing orchestra as well. Especially when I play, to be honest, when I play orchestra, I fall asleep, so I really need to look at the conductor.
Just first, are we doing just I appreciate it, or can I go with the?
So I wonder
So, two things. I really appreciated the emphasis and importance of beat in life and having some sort of rhythm, and that being an important thing. And I also wonder if you could perhaps incorporate, say, like a song to sort of give as an example. So like there was We Will Rock You by Queen that was mentioned, and I feel like if you were to have more time, which I mean obviously it was a very short amount of time you could do this, but if you could put that song and be like, okay, what do you notice about this song? Do you see there's a rhythm in this song? And then you could probably make some sort of improv with beat within the song and how you can create that beat in, I don't know, all those sort of ways, which could be a good way of using a song as an example to explain something, but that's just a suggestion. But other than that, you guys did a really good job.
I appreciate this probably more for Dave. I appreciated the fact that you could juggle two cognitions, so you were working with ear and you were also working with an action, and you made that clear when you were questioned about it, that was your intent. You wanted them to juggle both. Yeah. But I think you have to make that very clear that that's your intention, because it's very hard for us. We're not built to process multiple cognitions at one time. So a lot of us were kind of trying to listen into what you were saying, but we're also trying to focus on doing. It's like it's the same if you're reading and you're asked to read something in class, but you're also told to listen to what the teacher's saying. You can't do both. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
It's a key thing of being in part of an ensemble is that you're
definitely
and you're listening to everyone else at the same time. So you need to develop. It needs to develop for ensembles to work.
Yeah, no, I understand that completely. So and once you made that clear, I was like, oh, this makes heaps of sense. But prior to that, I was like, oh, I'm struggling a little bit. Do you know what I mean?
And it can be a skill that people struggle.
No, but it was really good though. Yeah.
I appreciated the flow of the lesson, and we started off super simple with just the numbers, and progressively it got more challenging. I thought that worked really well, and the fact that each difficulty was broken down and teachers swapped out, you guys worked great together.
Flow is really an idea.
Yeah, I think what I wanted to try and achieve at the end was to give you the sense of that, hey, we created something musical rather than we just did a musical exercise, which kind of like, it's kind of disconnected learning. Although it's important to do those exercises in some point, it's really important to feel that you're part of something musical.
I appreciated that you invited people to interpret that rhythm for
Yes,
themselves
yes.
as what they might do with their bodies to
Yeah.
create those. Yeah. Playful.
I like the irony of the fact we're talking about flow of a class when this is literally about like beat and stuff. So that really goes to show the importance and stuff. But I just want to add on that.
Yeah, no, good observation. Yeah, we teach what we are, and I think we can think about that, beyond today's lesson, about how our art subject area defines our approach as a teacher. What does that mean for music educators? What does that mean for visualised teachers, dance educators? How we are and operate could be analysed within an art form. So,
Yeah, I appreciated that every single moment was engaging. Like there was no lull, there was no I'm just going to zone out like someone else does something. Like you had to be on the whole time. That was awesome.
Okay.
fantastic. Thank you, everyone. And our last speech today, Tina and Dylan.
Let's rock and roll.